that might be it.
I think it's very well done. Blue's just an awesome color like that.
It's very cool.
Blue, David. Some fan created Kingdom Hearts character. Not Sora though is one of the tags.
This is not Sora though. Whoever tagged that was pretty. That was pretty cool.
What I like is the fact that the artist kept true to the giant feet.
Yeah, they did. It's like almost. I wonder. It's like he changed that hair around. He gave him the crazy spiky Sora hair. It's like would that actually just be Sora? I don't know. Like the rest of the outfit.
Oh, maybe it's just kind of like keeping with the style, I think. Not so much that he's trying to make... Because I think the face looks different, too. Like, this is kind of like an older character.
Yeah.
Where Sora's kind of young.
Right. Might be. Well.
Yeah, if he was going for Sora, it would look different, especially like the head, like the hair and the...
Yeah. So not Sora, and definitely not Sora with the hair, or with his hair combed.
But they really need to include the word not Sora, though.
Because people would have thought it was. Oh, this is Happy Wheels. I don't know why someone tagged it PewDiePie, because PewDiePie has nothing to do with Happy Wheels except for the fact that he plays it a lot. Dad! And I didn't hear. It's coming. I don't care. Is this member art? Oh, it is member art. That's very funny and actually interesting comic picture.
Huh.
Yeah. So have you ever seen Happy Wheels?
I don't think so. What is it?
It's like a bike game and stuff like that where you have to go through obstacles and try to survive, and it's really gruesome when you like crash or get hit and your body parts start falling off.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's like a comical gruesome instead of just gory.
Huh. And it's kind of known just because PewDiePie played it before.
Yeah. It's also kind of popular because a lot of people do user-generated stages and a lot of people play it. And some of them are kind of difficult and some of them are kind of funny.
Huh.
Another image from, what was that, Toei-kun?
Yeah.
Kawaii!
Okay. Go with that. My pronunciation is terrible, and always will be. Very good artist, though.
Huh. She's referring to the fact that she's the first one drawn on his tablet?
First what?
It's the first drawing he made.
First picture drawn with a bamboo tablet.
Huh.
You, my friend, are good enough for Intuos. Go for it. You can do it.
I actually draw all of my pictures with a bamboo tablet. Although I'm not good enough to really invest into the Intuos $500 drawing tablet.
You can get the Pro and the small ones and the older ones for under $200, I think. If you got to kind of shop around a little bit.
Mine at this point is kind of an older one.
Yeah.
It's a couple of years old at this point.
I think it'd be cool to own a Cintiq, but those are like $3,000.
I have the pen and touch, so
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I think we're about to hit an error message, probably. I ran into them a couple times earlier today.
Oh no!
Curses.
They are happening a lot less, though.
Seems like it.
Yes, seemingly.
Alright, so while we're waiting, how's it going, Water is Fire? Glad you could join us today.
It's going really good. I've been pretty busy lately, but like really busy. But I was able to carve some time out today to join in.
We're glad you could make it, definitely. Always glad to have another member on the show with us. So I think people were, and the actual topic, were actually wondering if we were going to have more members on in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Moroku's girl asked that specifically.
So what happened, Moroku's girl, if you're watching this, is I was highly ambitious with my member project, and realistically, cramming every week with a different member interview wasn't really feasible. And we also wanted to work on our quality issue before having people on again, because it's kind of hard to understand the Elven one. Plus, we need a little bit more practice ourselves, I think.
Yeah, that's really true.
So, Waterspire, want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have a deep, dark, disturbing past, which I'm not going to go into too much. But the my present is I'm currently a transgender in Massachusetts, male to female, and I work at a very large museum. I do computer stuff, and mostly I do like a lot of like research in all different kinds of subjects, from technology to sex studies to all different kinds of stuff. And I watch a lot of anime, and pretty much like I went to a pretty much like it wasn't an all male college, but it was practically an all male college. So and it was that was an interesting time in my life. But the
I didn't really know they had those anymore, those all one-gender colleges. But they kind of got rid of those.
Yeah, you go to a tech school, and they're pretty much all one gender.
Oh, yeah, see, that's not by intention. So that's what you need to work on. Why, that would be like really good project to work on, is why aren't there more females in the STEM areas? People will pay you good money for that. It's been a question they've been asking for, what, 50, 60 years now?
No, actually, all programmers in the 40s, 50s, and pretty much all the way up to the 80s used to be female. And then that recently, like between the 80s and now, has pretty much shifted almost entirely over to a male-dominated field.
Any idea why? I do remember there were a lot of fairly predominant in the early computer era females in the industry.
Well, it was back then. It was mostly like because of the computers back then. You had to do a lot of like typing and stuff, and they felt like back then, it sounds a little sexist today, but back then they felt like women were would be better at that kind of almost like chore than men who would be like more productive in like a factory or something. So a lot of times a lot of the actual programming went to women because it was more logical based, and it was more like it was more cerebral. It was like you have to really think about like logic, and it was rather than more physical kind of stuff. But as time went on, it got more. For some reason, it just that as computers progressed, they got more and more like mathematical and very very logical, and to the point where it's a lot of women didn't really get into like have never really gotten into mathematics, so it just simply a lot of them just left the field.
Interesting.
I think they have become much more complex. I mean, I'm not like super familiar with the the beginnings of computers, but like we had I think it was called the von Neumann machine.
Von Neumann.
Yeah, the von Neumann. That was it. Yeah. I mean, they were just. I think they were just, I guess, more simple to operate back then.
Well, they weren't very simple to operate, but because there were these giant like machinery that would create like different types of that would solve different types of problems based on mechanical solutions, and like a lot of times, like or through if they were digital, they went through these like transistors that were in the. I'm sorry, it's 10:30 over here, so it's kind of hard for me to think, but about this kind of stuff. But they went through these like gas tubes that were the transistors.
Right. Yeah, they used the original ones were vacuum tubes, I believe.
Yes, and that's how all the logic was kind of done. So there was no real like digital coding back then. All the coding was as Rel Magus points out in the chat. Was through punch cards mostly. That was the only way to input. And women a lot of times would be the ones setting up the programs and stuff. And some computers back then took as much power as the small cities to run because of all the cooling that needed to happen for the machinery.
Huh.
Now look, I found the newest transaction.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yep. That's a female that's too well endowed, I guess.
Technically, it's a male, but
Right. Right.
yeah, a lot of people have like really kind of these one of the like how I got into transaction was I used to read this web comic online called that was actually, even though it was really silly, it was extremely on point and very intelligently written. It's called the guy unfortunately developed problems in his hands and couldn't actually make it anymore, but it was called Sexy Losers. Yeah, there's this. He still has all the old ones up if you ever wanted to read through them. But he makes like these awesome characters that go through these like very like awesome situations where the like he makes fun of like necrophilia because he has like uh, this this guy that is a necrophiliac and works at a cemetery, but there's this girl that loves him, so she's always trying to pretend that's dead. There's a lot of like funny stuff, although it's like a very like adult comic. Should be like of maturity, wherever legally that is, to see it. But it's a really fun comic anyway.
So that was kind of the inspiration for you?
That and a few other things. Like I've been doing like research on sexual sexual studies my entire life. That's a big part of like who I am is researching sex and forming a social commentary on it that is more than what you would normally see in from Sailor Mercury. Woo!
I know I had to stop stop and stare at it too. So pretty.